excellent, but I think they're insufficient. It was a Desert News editorial that stated the point of view that I would like to make on this. The editorial said there are occasions when lawmakers bent on a particular philosophy refuse to do the bidding of the people. I think I'd hasten to say some. For instance, state lawmakers either can't or won't institute meaningful legislative ethics reforms despite years of public opinion polls and other measures that tell us Utahns really want them. After the session was over, the Ogden Standard Examiner described the legislators as, quote, experts at excusing bad ethics and graded their effort with a D. The Salt Lake Tribune lamented lawmakers took baby steps. The City Weekly, a fairly sensational source, but I kind of enjoy it. I enjoy particularly a statement. They called it the best toothless reform. In my estimation, insufficient was done, and we're still at the back of the pack. It is because of that back of the pack mentality, because of those items that we have enumerated here as samples, that we really believe we need to make a change in the ethics guidelines, the code of conduct for state legislators. And as a result, we come to you with this proposal today. I included one more of the cartoons from Calvin Rondell, the Ogden Standard Examiner, who suggested that there just becomes kind of a feeling, that may be offensive to some, but he feels like there's a feeling that it's just the way we get money, we accept it from law, it's our tradition. We need to change that tradition. Utah is often lauded as one of the best managed states in the Union, and I give my commendations, and since the two of you are here, I give my commendations to legislators because I think they have a part in that role, and the executive branch and many other people. But I would also think we ought to be the most ethical. We ought not be at the back of the pack in this particular area, and we ought to come up. That's my first presentation on the why. The second part of the presentation I is to talk about what. Alan's going to discuss that issue in a moment. Then we'll talk about how you can help, and then we open it up to your discussion. Okay? Incidentally, while Alan is taking over this morning, I will, we do have a copy of the executive summary of the initiative. We didn't print out 20 pages of it, but this is the executive summary of the key items. There are two sides to this. The one without the picture is the one that has the executive summary listed on it. Okay, Alan?
Thanks, Kim. For those of you who just come in, we're to item 3 on the agenda. One more time, my name is Stuart Howell, and I've been asked to moderate tonight's public hearing. We do have sign-up sheets, and we appreciate your signing in. We appreciate Kim's presentation regarding the why. We'll now hear from Alan Smith, who's an attorney, volunteering his time to Utahns federal government. He's going to speak to the what, the specifics of the UEG initiative. Alan.
Thank you. My job tonight is to explain what this draft initiative does. And let me just start by way of preface and say I'm not the only person who's an attorney working for this group. We have 7 attorneys altogether who were working more or less on our drafting committee. Those attorneys, in my estimation, are very good heads, smart lawyers with years and years of experience at the bar in all aspects of the law, procedural, administrative, constitutional, and governmental, political. In addition, once we had preliminary drafts of our initiative, we sought feedback from many other sources. Naturally, we sought input from those outside our group, some public figures, ordinary citizens, and additional lawyers. We talked with law professors, ordinary practitioners, experts in the field, and groups nationwide who have had experience with independent ethics commissions and legislative ethics. And when all was said and done, we got that feedback and we refined our draft. We felt like we could come up with a pretty good product. The draft also is informed by recent experiences of the state legislature, going through a couple of ethics hearings and processing ethics complaints, and seeing some of the pitfalls and difficulties that legislative council and the legislators who were impaneled to hear that those complaints wrestled with. And so our bill is informed by that experience as well. Having said all of that, we're very, very comfortable as a group with the constitutionality of what has been drafted and with the nature of the reform that is in the bill. This group was very diverse, and in any group, many of whom had prior legislative experience. As you can well imagine, there were a lot of different opinions about what ought to be in and what ought to be left out of the bill. And there were some who were in the Ralph Nader camp, and some who were on the other side of the spectrum, and a lot, I would say, most in between. And a lot of what was in various and sundry drafts got left on the cutting room floor. But what we think we came up with at the end of the day was a fairly moderate, balanced approach that is flexible and adaptable so that as the process is implemented, if this becomes law, it can be adapted and through learning and trial and error and experimentation, as with any process where changes have to be made, it in our view, will be improved as well. That's certainly our hope. With that preface, the bill has three main parts. The first part establishes an independent commission. The second part establishes a code of conduct. The third part has a set of procedures by which the independent commission implements and administers that code of conduct. Starting with the independent commission, I say independent, and you got to ask independent of what? It is not independent of the legislature, because under our state constitution, only the legislature or those who exercise legislative power, which includes the people through an initiative, can have rules to regulate disciplinary matters at the legislative level. So this independent commission is not independent of the legislature. It's a creature of the legislature, and that accounts for many things that those of you who have seen the bill and read it will see in the bill. For example, the references to restrictions on judicial review and the like. Those are all constitutionally motivated, because this needs to be a legislative adjunct. But it is independent, we hope, from the political process. As Kim explained in the slideshow, so much of the stalemate that happens, both in terms of legislators coming forward and voicing concerns about ethical problems of the legislature, and then in processing an ethics complaint, are attributable to politics. It's a hard thing for anybody to sit in judgment on him or herself. It's a hard thing to sit in judgment in a situation where you know in your everyday legislative service someone will turn back at you and point the finger. So we wanted it free from those partisan political considerations. We wanted a fair, impartial tribunal to look at these complaints. And we have devised a series of mechanisms which we think more or less, through checks and balances, will ensure an independent body. And those are these. The first, there is in the bill a list of standards or qualifications for anybody who will serve on the commission.